Okay, good morning. So today I'm going to do a real quick tutorial on the Linds Handmade Dayna pack. The link will be below. This is a fanny pack. It's great for Mardi Gras, parades, going shopping, anything. So normally I make it waterproof canvas and vinyl, and you don't have to interface, which makes it really simple. But on this one, I wanted to make it with cotton on the inside. So let's go over the pieces. So you have your back panel, which is made out of vinyl. Now you can do this on any kind of material that you want, but I had just enough of this left over to make this Dayna pack. So, and you can make this on a domestic because there are no seams that are really too thick. Just if you do want to make it on a domestic and you do want to use vinyl or waterproof canvas, just be careful of the seams. I would use a walking foot. So you have your back panel, which is vinyl. You have your back liner, which is, I did this in cotton because I thought it would match really good with this. So, and I did interface this with 101. You have your front top panel for exterior and cotton. You have your two main side panels, which is vinyl, and your front main panel, exterior vinyl and lining, which is cotton interfaced with 101. Okay, so those are the pieces. So let's go over the hardware. I use zipper tape, so I went ahead and made the zipper, and I cut mine, I think the pattern calls for 9 inches, but I cut mine at 10, so I have a little bit of overhang because it only has one zipper, so it's going to be used a lot. And I did, if you allow for overhang sewn into the side seams, then you don't have to worry about the sides coming undone. Then a 40-inch strap, which I'm using nylon webbing, the heavy duty kind, because it doesn't really fray that much on the ends. And then 2 connectors for the strap with, I use 1-inch hardware. I cannot remember what it says in the pattern, but I bought all 1-inch hardware, so it does. And then these are for the sides. Now I don't use 2 swivel clasps. I just use 1 because I directly sew, which you'll see, onto one of the connectors. It cuts down. I mean, I know it's just 1, but hey, when they are over $1 a piece, it cuts down on the price of the finished bag, and you can save one of these and make another one. So there you go. And then you need an adjustable slider ring. So that's the hardware. So this project goes by really fast once you get the hang of it. So the first pieces you will need are going to be your zipper, your front main panel, and you can tell because it has the notches, the darts, and your front liner. So let's move everything else off to the side. Get some clips. Okay, so lay your exterior face up, your zipper face down, and clip it on there. Now you can go ahead and base your zipper. I do not. If you are pretty new to this, you can go ahead and just base your zipper on there. And then take your lining and right sides together right on top. So you are creating a zipper sandwich. Then you're just going to sew down that seam about 1/4 of an inch. Don't forget to move your zipper head. Let's see if I got that even. Okay, now you're just going, because I'm using vinyl, I'm not going to iron it. The way I do this is I fold it back and I just even it up, and I hold and pull with this hand and pull with this hand along that zipper teeth to keep it straight and to top stitch. So you're just going to fold it back just like this and top stitch along that edge. I just use the guide of the side of my foot. So I'm going to hold it to keep it even with this hand, and I'm going to use this hand to keep my zipper straight. That also helps you not have a wavy zipper. And there we go. That's top stitched. I'm using, which I need to go up, so to a 3.5. All right, so that bottom is done. Next, we're going to take the top panels, your exterior and your liner. So your lining should be smaller than the exterior. That's correct. Now it should look like this. So the shorter edge is towards the top. So when you lay it down like this, just like that, just fold it down. So your shorter edge should be facing towards the bottom, right sides together. And you're going to line up that top edge with the side of your panel. Again, you can go ahead and baste your zipper on here, or you can make a sandwich and then put it all together. So short edge on the bottom. Flip it over. Again, if you need to, lay your lining piece short edge towards the top, and then just roll it down where the short edge is facing towards the bottom, and clip that up there on it. Sorry. Lining it up with your front piece. And then you're just going to sew along that edge. I use my fingers to let me know where the zipper is so I don't accidentally go over my zipper teeth. Especially because this backing is kind of really smooth, so it moves a lot. Alright, so now we're going to flip that panel up and the back panel. So it should look like this. Now your back panel, your back lining piece should be smaller than your front. So it should look like this. That is correct, because this is going to end up being your birthing hole, so you want it to be smaller than your front. Again, just use two hands by pulling one side out, because I'm not going to iron it. Now if you were using cotton for the exterior or something that you can iron, then just iron this down and make it straight. But because I can't, I'm going to use both hands and pull them away from each other. Okay. To make it straight. So there we go. Now we're going to sew these darts right sides together, so all 4 at 1/4 inch seam allowance. So right sides together for your darts. Okay, so there's the darts. So it should look like that. Alright, so now we're going to take the back lining piece, right sides together. Now you're going to take it and line it up with just the lining piece at the top and clip it. And then you're going to clip all the way around, because we're going to base this back liner onto it. But do not sew this piece at the top, just the sides. Move your zipper out of the way, and then just clip it. Now you have a poof, so you just have to work it to get it lined up. So I'm going to do the sides first. Okay. Okay, so there you go. So you're going to start one side, and baste all the way around, about 1/8 of an inch. All right, there we go. Again, I'm going to leave these because this only has one zipper, so it's going to get a lot of use back and forth. Now, time for the side panels. Now, the easiest way to do this is to lay your front panel down and lay these down with it. So you want it to, these short sides to be out. This long straight edge matches up with this straight edge. So you want it to look like this. Now, and then you just fold it over. And you don't have to worry about which side goes to which. Make sure your zipper's head's out of the way. And just clip these side panels down. Now, according to the pattern, once you get down here, you are not going to base this on this curve. So, if it's a little bit long, that's fine. You can just cut it off. You will have a little ear on the top, so that's supposed to be there. Again, we are not going to sew baste this in this corner. So you're going to stop before this corner. Stop before this corner, that curve edge, and sew it down at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. As you can see, I stopped right here before it curved around. And then we're just going to fold these out and top stitch down the sides. Fold it out and top stitch down this. Again, it's okay if you have a little overhang. We're just going to trim it out. This is a very forgiving pattern, which is what I love. And here comes the storms. All right, so now your front piece is completely finished, except for we gotta add the connectors. So we're just going to trim off anything that is out of line. Turn that around. So now we're going to add our connectors. The length of this doesn't matter, so I just use scraps, but what I will note is you want it down far enough to where your 1/4 inch seam allowance doesn't hit your D-ring, and you want to leave enough overhang because this is nylon. So if you cut it right up against here, your stitching will start to cause this to unravel, and from wear and tear it will come undone. So I always leave, I mean, you don't necessarily have to have this much, but this is fine. To me, this is great because you're gonna have like 2 or 3 layers of stitching right there. Eventually, from wear and tear, if you cut this too short, it will start to tear down your nylon. So I always leave this. It's a buffer. So we're going to baste these on here as close to the edge as you can, because all you're doing is wanting them to stay on there. Again, do not trim this down, just leave it. Let's do the other side. And you want to give it some reinforced stitching, because again, this is a fanny pack. People are going to be taking it on and off, throwing it around, I mean everything. So we can take these clips off now. So now our front panel in this bag only has 2 more things to do and we are done. So we're going to flip it right sides up, move your zipper to the middle out of the way, take your back panel and just lay it on top. We will be sewing all the way around, so you just want to line it up and clip it all together. Make sure you are not sewing that birthing hole, so don't clip it down. Only your 2 panel pieces. Okay, so there we go. We're going to sew all the way around, but sew it this side up so you do not get this birthing hole, because you're going to stitch right along the edge. So I would sew with your pocket facing up so you know you're not going to get that. And I usually start on the top. You can start on the bottom, you can start anywhere. I just start on the top. And it's a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Move that pocket out of the way. I always give it a couple of back stitches over this connector again. Make sure, use your fingers, you're not going to hit that D-ring. Again, use your finger, don't want to hit that D-ring. Pull that pocket back. There we go. And you can trim down any major excess that's pretty much not really all that even. Do not trim down your connectors. And do not cut into your stitching or you'll just have to do it again. So, all right, now it's time to flip it out. Open up that zipper all the way and just roll it out. Your hand in that hole to push out these corners. Make sure you've got all of the seams. Do not be afraid to be rough with it, because the people that will buy it from you or yourself will be rough with this. So I've said in previous videos, I'm all about, if your bag cannot survive a birthing process, it's not going to survive up years of wear and tear. So I'm just using my lighter to burn down any of these threads. Okay. So make sure now on the inside we're going to top stitch the top of this bag to catch this hole. So you want to make sure that these line up. So just reach in there right here, and lay it flat and on top of each other, because you want to close that hole. If you have to clip it or iron it, if you're not using vinyl, I'm just going to clip it just to so that's what it should look like. Use your lighter to burn down any threads. So now we are going to start first let's roll out all these seams. Okay, we're going to start down here where this seam is on one side and top stitch up, around, across to catch that hole, down this other side to match up with this edge. This is the only place that could be really bulky if you're using a domestic machine. So keep that in mind when you decide, when you're thinking about what materials to use or interfacing. This is a fanny pack. It's not supposed to be stiff and with foam, or I don't use fleece. The most I will use is vinyl waterproof canvas or SF101 on my cotton. If I have made it with waterproof canvas on the outside, but then if I do that, I will definitely use cotton on the inside, because it's a fanny pack. It's supposed to mold to your leg or to your hips. Okay, so top stitch 1/8 from the edge. Just take your time. Hand crank if you have to. I'm just hand cranking over this big seam right here because this vinyl is very soft and I don't want to leave scuff marks on it. All right, guess what? The body is done. Your fanny pack is complete. Now, if you were doing this and you open this up and you did not catch this hole at the very top, it is quite all right to sew a second line of stitching right here, just right here, up underneath 1/8 of an inch from your top stitching. So that will be totally fine, or you can do another round of stitching all the way around to make it even. But if you open this up and did not catch this hole all the way, just sew a second line 1/8 of an inch right here in between these two side panels. So that's it. Now to make the crossbody strap. So let's get the lighter, burn these edges. Take your slide adjuster up through one side, down through the other, just like this. And you're going to take your end, fold it over once or twice, however many times you want, and it should look just like this. You're going to stitch across that fold. And because I'm using white, I gotta be careful with my stitching. Granted, I could probably switch it out and do black, but I think the white brings it all together and I think it looks just fine. Okay, so now you should have a strap with this, just like that. There's that fold. Okay, so now take your bag, and I like to do it this way. That way I know that this fold is going to be to the back. So always have to play with it for a minute. So you're going to take your strap, the fold up, stick it through this D-ring through the back, pull it through, right? So you should have a loop. Now take your strap, go it through through one side. Here's the fold. Go through the hole, right? Then down through the other hole, through the other side. Just like that. So, if you do it with your fanny pack facing up, the back of it facing up, then whenever somebody is wearing it, this part will be towards the back. Now, granted, you can do this with two clasps, lobster clasps, and just hook it on to each side, but I don't see the point in that, so I just do it this way. Then take your other one and just put it on your lobster clasp, which I think this is the wrong size. So, because we did it like this, with this up, you want to put this, don't put it in like this, because then it'll be backwards. Hold your clasp up and stick it in through the bottom. That way, when you are looking at it, everything is up. Your slide adjuster is up, and your clasp is up, and then you're just going to fold this under. Now on this one, I fold under twice. About 1 inch, just like that. And then I top stitch right through there. Make sure it's even. We're going to do that again. Okay, use your lighter to burn any threads. Make it look nice. Put it on there. And there you have it. This fanny pack is complete. So I sell these for $30. Here's the one I made earlier and yesterday. So we have this blue one and this black one. Now on this black one, I did not top stitch down the sides. This vinyl is very, it shows every mark. So I just top stitched along the top and it's a little bit poofy. But this one, using contrasting thread, if you're confident enough on these kind of vinyls, is just so pretty. So there you go, and it's complete. I might add a little bitty tassel on here just to give it a little bit more flair, whereas this one I use my Handmade zipper head that I got from myhandmadespace.com. So again, thank you. With this tutorial was only 40 minutes. I would say about 10 minutes to cut an interface depending on the fabric base that you're using. And once you get confident, 20 to 25 minutes to sew up. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit subscribe and have a good day. If my butt